All right, strap in, everyone, because today we're diving headfirst into some seriously mind-bending stuff.
Mind-bending is a good way to put it.
We're talking space-time, quantum mechanics, and,
And don't forget a touch of really cool geometry.
oh yeah, absolutely. And trust me, folks, this isn't your typical science news rundown.
Not even close. We're going way beyond the usual headlines.
Right, we're digging into some hardcore research here, stuff that blends physics, computer science.
Even a little bit of philosophy gets thrown in the mix. It's fascinating.
It really is. You know, I was going to these sources and I just kept thinking, this is the kind of stuff.
It makes you rethink everything you thought you knew.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So picture this. You're prepping for a big presentation, right?
Hmm.
Maybe on some emerging tech, future trends.
You want to sound like you really get it.
Like you're in the know. You want that wow factor, and not just the surface level stuff. You want the deep cuts.
Stuff that'll make people's jaws drop.
Exactly. So consider this deep dive your secret weapon. We're giving you the core concepts, but also
The really juicy details to drop in there.
to make you sound brilliant. Like, oh yeah, of course I know about that crazy new space-time theory.
Because trust me, these ideas, they have the potential to change everything.
No joke. So let's jump right in. First up, the Minkowski metric. Now, I know metric sounds a bit technical, but bear with me.
It's crucial to understanding how space-time actually works, at least according to Einstein.
Right, his whole theory is special relativity.
The whole shebang. So basically, it's about understanding relationships, right?
What relationships?
Between events in this wild four-dimensional fabric we call space-time.
4 dimensions, already my head spinning.
The Minkowski metric gives us a way to measure the distance between those events. But here's the thing.
Okay, hit me with the thing.
It's not just physical distance. It takes time into account, too.
So it's not just where something happens, but when, and how those two are all mixed up together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is where it gets really cool. This space-time interval, this distance, it stays constant no matter how fast you're moving.
Whoa, wait, really? That doesn't seem right.
But that's special relativity for you. Our experience of space and time, it's all relative to how we're moving.
Mind blown. All right, so I think I'm starting to get that, but here's another challenge. 4 dimensions, right?
Tricky for our little 3D brains to grasp.
How are we supposed to even picture that?
Well, luckily, some really smart researchers are coming up with some pretty amazing ways to visualize it.
Oh, really? Like what? Give me the good stuff.
They're using tools from unexpected places. Like, have you ever heard of the H3 grid system?
The H3. Isn't that, wait a minute, is that something Uber uses for mapping?
Ding, 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 you got it.
Like for figuring out the quickest route for your ride?
It all started there, yeah. Mapping locations on Earth, all with hexagons.
Hexagons, huh? Interesting. But how does that help us understand space-time?
Well, because of that hexagonal symmetry, H3 grids are actually amazing at representing curved surfaces.
Curved surfaces, okay. And I'm guessing space-time is, what, super curved?
You could say that. It's far from flat.
All right, so we're taking a tool designed for, what, city streets and traffic, and applying it to the entire universe.
That's the beauty of it. And this is a great point to bring up in your presentation, by the way.
Right. Show people how scientists are getting creative to visualize these crazy concepts.
Oh, absolutely. And it doesn't stop there. They're also using something called the Bloch sphere, which is straight from quantum mechanics, to show complex space-time data in a way our brains can actually handle.
Okay, so it's like taking a 4D snapshot and putting it into 2D.
Exactly. Imagine showing your audience a glimpse of that 4D world using tools they might even be familiar with.
That's awesome. Okay, I'm starting to see how these ideas that seem totally random are actually connected. This is way more fun than just reading about theories. But let's get to the really good stuff, shall we? Quantum tunneling. It's not just particles zipping through walls anymore, is it?
Oh, it's so much more than that.
Right. What are we talking about here?
Think spatiotemporal translocation, which basically means maybe, just maybe, we could use quantum tunneling to move things across space and time.
Hold up. Are you saying teleportation? Like Star Trek stuff? That would definitely get people's attention.
Well, it's not quite beaming someone up, Scotty, just yet, but the basic idea is similar. The key here is this concept called hysteresis. It's like a carefully controlled delay in a quantum process.
A delay.
Yeah, like a safety catch. So things don't just randomly pop in and out of existence.
Oh, right, because that would be a bit messy.
A bit. So instead of things just randomly vanishing and reappearing, we'd use this hysteresis to control it, to make it more like, well, actual transportation.
A controlled zap across space-time.
Precisely. It's like building a bridge, but, a a bridge made of quantum stuff.
Okay, follow me here, folks. We went from Uber routes to potentially manipulating space-time with quantum magic. Heavy stuff, right?
Yeah.
But you know what else has that kind of mind-bending sci-fi vibe? The small, stellated dodecahedron.
Ah, yes. That's a good one. A beautiful shape. Deep connections to the golden ratio, which pops up everywhere.
In nature, art, the works.
You see it everywhere once you start looking. It's one of those platonic solids, and its structure. Fascinating.
But what does a pretty shape have to do with all this space-time and quantum craziness? I'm hooked. Tell me more.
Well, this is where it gets really wild. That dodecahedron structure, it's recursive, meaning it's like made up of smaller versions of itself.
Okay, I can picture that.
And that could be the key to mapping quantum energy states and maybe even pathways through space-time.
Wait, are we saying the shape itself could be like a map for navigating the universe? Never would have thought of that.
Think of each face of the dodecahedron representing a different quantum state or point in space-time. If we can manipulate those states, who knows, maybe we could travel vast distances or even through time.
Time travel via dodecahedron. Now, that's a presentation-worthy concept. All right, I need a minute to process this. From Uber to a universe-navigating dodecahedron, my brain is overloaded.
I hear you, but hold on tight because we're just getting started. Next up, we'll see how all of this ties into computers, clocks, even not theory. You heard that right? Not theory.
Not theory, like tying my shoelaces. How does that fit in with all this? I'm beyond intrigued, but I think I need a moment to digest these teleporting dodecahedrons first.
Welcome back. I hope those dodecahedrons haven't spun you out too much.
Oh, they're still swirling around in there, but you know what? That's what makes this so exciting. It's like we're right on the edge of what we thought was possible.
Exactly. So ready for more? You mentioned computers and not theory before the break.
Yeah, those two don't really seem like they belong in the same sentence, let alone in the same universe as teleporting dodecahedrons.
And yet, here we are. Let's start with Mealy machines.
Mealy machines. Okay, I'm listening.
They're a type of finite state machine used in classical computing. Think of them as systems with a bunch of states, and they can switch between those states depending on what input they get.
So like a vending machine. You put in money, pick your snack, the machine goes through a series of steps, delivers the goods.
Perfect analogy. Now, the interesting thing is the way Mealy machines work, how they can kind of loop back on themselves. It's similar to some of the stuff we see in quantum mechanics and those dodecahedron pathways we talked about.
Wait, hold on. Are you saying that the way regular computers work could give us clues about how to build quantum computers?
That's exactly what I'm saying. If we can figure out how to control those loops, those recursive processes, we might be able to make qubits, the building blocks of quantum computers, a lot more stable.
Which would be huge. Right, because one of the big problems with quantum computers is keeping those qubits from, what do they call it, decohering.
Exactly, decohering. It's like they're super fragile, easily disturbed.
Like trying to build a sandcastle on a windy beach.
And speaking of things that need to be super precise, this ties into quantum clocks, too.
Quantum clocks.
Oh.
Okay, now you've really lost me. What even is a quantum clock?
Imagine a clock so precise that it could measure the tiny time differences caused by changes in gravity.
Like the way time slows down near a massive object, according to Einstein.
That's the idea. And these clocks would be so sensitive they could actually detect ripples in space-time itself.
Whoa, hold on. That's a pretty big claim. How does a quantum clock even do that?
Well, it involves measuring the transitions between energy levels in atoms, but to do it with that level of precision, we need to control those transitions incredibly carefully.
And that's where those Mealy machines and recursive loops come in.
You got it. They give us a framework for that kind of control, so we could create a clock so accurate it could detect things like gravitational waves or even tiny shifts in the fabric of space-time.
All right, I need a minute to wrap my head around that.
Mm.
Quantum clocks, quantum computers, like we're stepping into a whole new dimension. But hey, you promised us not theory. Are we going to learn how to tie some superpowered quantum knot?
Not quite, but we will explore how this area of math, which might seem totally abstract, actually connects to everything we've been talking about. It's about understanding the shape and structure of space-time itself.
Knots in space-time. Okay. I'm having trouble picturing that connection.
Imagine the universe as a giant knotted rope. The way those knots are arranged could tell us a lot about the properties of space-time.
Interesting analogy, but how does that help us in a practical sense?
Well, there's this concept of knot invariance.
Knot invariance. Okay, you're going to have to break that down for me.
Think of them as like fingerprints for knots. They're properties of the knot that don't change, no matter how you twist or turn it.
So even if I tie my shoelaces in the most ridiculously complicated knot, there's a mathematical formula that could describe it perfectly.
Exactly. And here's where it gets really mind-blowing. These knot invariants could help us understand black holes.
Black holes, as in those massive cosmic things that suck everything in. What do knots have to do with black holes?
The way information gets trapped in a black hole might be related to the way knots are arranged. Like each knot represents a piece of that information. And if we can understand those knots, we might be able to decode that information.
So we're not just talking about understanding the universe, we're talking about potentially retrieving information from a black hole.
It's a long shot, but a fascinating possibility. And it doesn't stop there. Knot theory could also play a role in quantum computing, offering a whole new approach.
Wait, I thought we already covered that. Are we going in circles?
We talked about how Mealy machines could give us ideas for building quantum computers, but knot theory offers a completely different angle. Those knot invariants we talked about. They could be used to create new types of quantum algorithms, even improve how we correct errors in quantum computations.
So we have quantum computers inspired by vending machines and quantum computers inspired by knots. Is there anything knots can't do?
It seems not. And that's what's so cool about all this. It's a convergence of ideas from all these different fields, physics, mathematics, computer science. And they're all pointing towards a deeper understanding of reality itself.
All right, I need a moment to untangle all these knots in my brain. It's incredible how all these ideas are connecting.
I know, it's a lot to process. But we're not done yet. In part 3, we'll bring it all together and see what this means for the future.
Welcome back to the deep dive, everyone. My head's still spinning from all these incredible concepts. It's like we've been on a whirlwind tour of the most mind-blowing ideas in science.
And we're just getting started. The really exciting part is how all these seemingly separate ideas are starting to connect.
Right, like those Minkowski metrics, H3 grids, block spheres, dodecahedrons, Mealy machines, knot invariants. It's a lot to take in.
But when you step back and look at the big picture, it's like we're piecing together a giant puzzle. And the image that's emerging is unlike anything we've ever seen before.
So it's not just about individual breakthroughs, it's about how they're all coming together to paint a bigger, more profound picture of the universe.
Exactly. It's like we've been looking at the universe through a narrow lens, and now we're finally starting to see the whole tapestry, the interconnectedness of everything.
Okay, you've got me hooked. Paint that picture for me. What does this interconnected tapestry look like? What's it telling us about the universe and our place within it?
It's telling us that the universe is far more malleable than we ever imagined. Space and time aren't these rigid, fixed things. They're fluid, dynamic, woven together in this intricate dance of energy and information.
And we're starting to learn the steps to that dance, how to manipulate the fabric of space-time itself. That's a pretty powerful thought.
It is. Remember those spatiotemporal translocation ideas we talked about? If we can master controlled quantum tunneling, we could completely revolutionize transportation.
So not just faster spaceships, but a whole new way of thinking about movement, something that bypasses the limits of traditional travel.
Imagine being able to travel vast distances, not by moving through space in the conventional sense, but by essentially tunneling through the fabric of space-time itself. It'd be like folding space and time to bring distant locations closer together.
Now that's a game changer.
Yeah.
And what about communication? Could we apply these same principles to transmitting information?
Absolutely. If we can send information through those quantum tunnels, we could create instant communication networks. No more lag time, no more waiting for signals to travel at the speed of light.
So we're talking truly instantaneous communication across the globe, maybe even the galaxy. That would be incredible.
It would completely change how we connect with each other. And of course, we can't forget about quantum computing. It seems like every path we explore leads back to this revolutionary technology.
Right, it really feels like quantum computing is at the heart of all this.
And for good reason. It has the potential to completely transform our world. We've talked about how these new insights could help create more stable qubits, leading to more powerful algorithms and the ability to solve problems that are simply impossible for even our most advanced computers today.
So we're talking about everything from designing new materials to developing life-saving drugs, from simulating the early universe to maybe even cracking the code of consciousness itself. The possibilities seem endless.
And the implications go beyond just science. These ideas have profound philosophical implications as well. They challenge how we think about causality, free will, even the nature of reality itself. It's not just about changing the world, it's about changing how we understand our place in it.
It's like we're on the verge of a new era of discovery, a renaissance driven by these incredible connections between physics, math, and computer science. And it's clear we're just at the beginning. There's so much more to learn, to explore. What advice would you give to our listeners who want to dive deeper into these amazing ideas?
I'd say stay curious. Don't be afraid to explore the ideas that spark your imagination. Read those papers, even if they seem a bit intimidating at first. Look up that small, stellated dodecahedron. Try to picture it in your mind. Think about how it might connect to quantum physics. Have conversations, ask questions, and never stop learning.
Because who knows? Maybe one of our listeners will be the one to make the next breakthrough, to connect the dots and reveal another piece of this incredible puzzle. That's what makes these deep dives so exciting. It's a journey without end.
And it's a journey full of wonder. The universe is filled with amazing things waiting to be discovered, and the more we learn, the more we realize how much more there is to know.
So keep those minds open, keep exploring, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible. We'll be back soon with another deep dive, ready to explore even more mind-blowing ideas that are shaping our understanding of the universe and our place within it. Until then, keep searching, keep questioning, and never stop exploring the infinite possibilities that await.
Quantum threads weaving through the cosmic dome. Holograms flicker where the physics roll. Conscious mind surfing on reality's tide. A magical wave where universes collide. Is reality encoded on a distant line? Four dimensions folding space and time. Projection of perceptions, universe entwined. Seeking truth in shadows, consciousness defined. Of existence, holographic spirit, universal persistence, fields of energy, information skies, exploring depths where the equations rise. Dimensional rifts in a seamless dance, cosmic ballet in an endless trance. Particles entangled, destiny's call, mirror reflections in a quantum hall. Is reality encoded on a distant line? Four dimensions folding space and time. Projection of perceptions, universe entwined. Seeking truth in shadows, consciousness defined. String theory sings in the voidless night. Parallel worlds in the quantum light. Universal code in the cosmic script. Rhythm of the cosmos, reality flipped. Theory sings in the voidless night. Parallel worlds in the quantum light. Universal code in the cosmic script. Rhythm of the cosmos, reality flipped. Quantum threads weaving through the cosmic dome. Holograms flicker where the physics roll. Conscious mind surfing on reality's tide. A magical wave where universes collide.